Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
Still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
And good morning, America. This is Thursday, and this is the Patriot Radio Show, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. And I'm broadcasting today from my underground bunker deep in Arcantana, Brascarado. And I'm here to educate, irritate, and agitate. Folks, I think you're going to be fully agitated today. We've got a very special show produced by my usual Thursday co-host. Today she's going to be the host. I'll be sitting over in the co-host chair. Today's show is brought to you by Daisy Donovan. We're going to be talking about sanctuary cities. Again, my name's Tom O'Halloran. My primary blog is TomO'Halloran.com. When you get there, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, any other social media that suits your fancy. Also, please follow my editor, Veronica Coffin. Veronica manages 14 websites on our network, and without her doing that, I couldn't do this. You'll find Veronica's follow button at the bottom of each and every post. On Facebook, we're at Facebook.com/Patriot Radio Show. Personally, I'm at Facebook.com/O'Halloran. I'm on air 5 days a week, folks, so please be sure to tune in every morning, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Texas time for this, the Patriot Radio Show. On Fridays, same time, I do Jihad on America. Here I cover the Islamists in America. I tell you who they are, what they want, and why you should be afraid. If you did not catch my show on the Muslim Brotherhood, my show Islam is Not a Religion, or my show on Islamophobia, then please do yourself a favor, do me a favor, heck, do America a favor. Find your way to PatriotRadioshow.com, listen to all 3 of these shows. They will give you insight and perspective on the topic that you've probably not heard anywhere else. And I do the news about Islam around the world because it's a glimpse into the future. What's in store for us here in America if we continue to allow the cancer of Islam to spread here in the homeland. Keep abreast of my shows, listen to the live stream, as well as catch the archives of any shows that you may have missed. All at PatriotRadioshow.com. I'd like to thank my sponsors for the show, Dr. Dave Krupa. Dr. Krupa is a Houston-based chiropractor and a nutritional health specialist. Dr. Krupa does not dispense drugs from Big Pharma, such as the drugs you see on TV with a long list of legal disclaimers about the other side effects and ails that may affect you if you take this drug. Dr. Dave, instead, he finds out what is wrong with you, and he'll give you natural supplements to heal your body naturally, the way God intended. I'd also like to thank the Republic of Texas. Their website is thetexasrepublic.com. An organization of men and women fighting to regain international recognition as a sovereign nation for the people of Texas. Their website is thetexasrepublic.com. And finally, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The VFW is an organization of men and women who have served in foreign conflicts. And now they come together to support our veterans and their families. Please get involved with the VFW post near you. Here in North Houston, at my post, We hold bingo every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as a fundraiser to allow us to help our veterans. We also have dances, such as the one Jeff Woolsey dance we have coming up on Saturday night. If you're interested in coming to some of the bingos or some of the dances, our website is vfwpost2427.org. Please reach out to the VFW Post in your area. If you're an eligible veteran, if you've served in a foreign conflict, then please get involved, enroll, become part of the solution. And with that, I'd like to bring in my host for the day, not my co-host, my host, because I'm going to move over, sit on the sofa, and let Daisy Donovan come in and present her show that she's worked so hard to put together for us. Daisy, are you with us, dear?
Good morning, Tom. Don't get too comfy on that couch.
It's all yours, and with that, I'm going fishing, folks.
Oh, no, you're not. How
Okay.
you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well, dear. You?
I'm really well. A little bit nervous to be taking the reins on this production.
No reason to be nervous. I've heard you talk. You know what you're talking about, so just bring it.
Okay, then. Well, this morning I want to spend some time talking about sanctuary cities and also about case law. I think that this is so very important. I think that most of us know what a sanctuary city is, but just in case someone out there isn't familiar, I never realized that they started emerging in the 80s. I never realized that I'm kind of I was out of diapers in the 80s, but not very far out of diapers. So, but a sanctuary city is simply a city or a jurisdiction that they've got policy that refuses to honor any federal requests to hold people that are found in the country illegally. A lot of times what will happen is a jurisdiction will pick someone up, and possibly an illegal alien, and run for any federal holds. And if there's any up, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, will ask them to hold them for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, until they can get someone there to pick them up. And some of these sanctuary cities are saying, nope, sorry. Some of them use executive orders. Some of them are just police policies that they use. A good example is the City and County of Refuge Ordinance in San Francisco. California is, well, as we all know, a pretty liberal state, and they've got quite a few of these sanctuary cities. But in San Francisco, it prohibits any city employee from helping federal immigration enforcement unless they're compelled by a court order.
Wow.
They think that they're protecting their cities by doing this. They think that they're forming some sort of morale, camaraderie with these illegal immigrants to keep their crime down, when what they're actually doing is promoting it. Don't you think?
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, if you've got criminals on the street and you're refusing to make them pay the penalties for their crimes, you're showing them that there is no downside to crime. It's all upside.
Well, and the San Francisco sheriff, Ross Mercarini, I think is maybe how you say it, he told CNN the other day that I firmly believe it makes us safer. We're a world-renowned city with a large immigrant population. From a law enforcement perspective, we want to build trust with that population. Well, my question is, what about your American population?
Yeah.
How are you going to build trust with your American population? And the big sanctuary city issue came up, or was brought to light it was in July, when Kate Steinle was murdered in San Francisco. She was murdered by an illegal immigrant who had been deported 5 times.
Right.
Deported 7 times and returned 6 times. He had been deported on felonies 7 times, and he came back 6 times.
That's
And
insane.
he shot and killed Kate Steinle, 32-year-old woman, prime of her life, shot dead by an illegal alien who very well should not have been in that city at all.
And the illegals trust the sheriff.
Yes.
That's working real well with the illegals, isn't it?
Well, in this particular illegal, I've seen several video interviews like with law enforcement that they've posted. Of course, it's on CNN, stations like that. It just makes him. It brings him into a light of being remorseful, and it wasn't intended for her. It was a bad shot, or it ricocheted, and she wasn't a target. And somehow saying that she's not a target makes it okay.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Have you heard Bill O'Reilly talking about this?
No.
Well, he helped introduce Kate's Law, and what they're wanting to do is impose a mandatory 5-year sentence on any immigrant with a felony who reenters our country. And Democrat that came to vote. The House passed it in July, but it was shot down on Tuesday, and it was most likely shot down because it was attached to the sanctuary city proposal as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Bill O'Reilly, he's on fire. He's fired up over this. And he basically says that politicians are playing games with our safety, and that's the bottom line.
Well, we've covered that on this show many times. With the politicians, putting the immigrants, putting the illegals ahead of the U.S. citizens that they're actually there to protect and serve.
Right. Well, the other bill that they were voting on that I said was attached to Kate's Law, it was introduced by Senator Vitter out of Louisiana, and it was basically wanting to deny sanctuary cities any federal funding. And, of course, that was shot down quick. Not wanting to fund, give any grants or any funding to these sanctuary cities who refuse to help out with ICE getting some of these illegal criminals deported.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic to any of this, Tom. And it was mentioned to me this morning that why are we bothering to talk about it? Because nothing's going to happen unless we get a new president in office. And I have to disagree with that, because we were, even having been attached, these proposals being attached to each other, we were only 6 votes away. We needed 60 votes, and it failed 54 to 45, which 6 votes is a lot, but still.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to require a new president.
It shouldn't have even lost, let alone by that many.
No, not at all.
I mean, this should be one of those. This should be one of those bills that's a slam dunk.
But you and I can be proud because I saw the list of the votes, and the senators from Texas as well as Kansas both voted yay. Not quite enough, but
yeah, right.
At least there's some brains in our neck of the woods, I guess.
Well, we still have way too many rhinos in the house for my taste.
For sure. But on the same, along those lines, the Dallas County, Texas sheriff is trying to turn her jurisdiction into a sanctuary city. I'm not sure if you've heard about this. But what she has said, and of course this is an election year for her, so she's pulling in the liberal voters. But what she says, and this, I can't wrap my head around this logic. Immigration is a federal law. I don't know why they keep expecting me to take care of federal issues. We make our decisions based on reason, safety, and what's best for the community. Did any of that make sense to you?
Yeah, not really. Can you hold that thought, Daisy? We got to take a break. We got to pay a couple bills, but I do want to pick up right there when we come back. All right?
You betcha.
Stick around, folks. This is a Tuesday edition of the Patriot Radio Show with your host, Daisy Donovan, and your co-host, you know who. We'll be back right after this.
The Lion and Rose Restaurant and British Pub is the after-work destination. The happy hour is very serious. Decisions have to be made, like what scrumptious appetizer are you going to order? They serve a wide selection of delectable British and American entrees at the Lion and Rose, San Antonio's favorite pub, and check out their lunch specials. Pub trivia and karaoke nights means fun for all, and you can get catering for any event. 4 Alamo City locations: Stone Oak, Alamo Heights, Park North, and Forum. The Lion and Rose Restaurant and British Pub. TheLionandRose.com.
How many of your photos, memories, music, and irreplaceable documents are stored on your computer? My guess is you probably have a lot. If you don't regularly back up your computer files, you are only one hard drive crash, one forgetful moment, or one accident away from losing your computer files forever. Backing up your files onto CDs or flash drives is a good idea, but who really has the time to do it on a regular basis? Plus, what would happen if your computer and your backups are in the same place at the wrong time? Want to know what the best way to back up your computer files is? The answer is easy. Let My PC Backup do it for you. My PC Backup is a small desktop application that automatically backs up all of your files to a schedule chosen by you. It takes a copy of your files, encrypts them, and sends them to our high-tech data centers via a secure 256-bit SSL connection. My PC Backup gives you the option to sync files between multiple computers. You can view your synced or backed up files at any time and from any location by logging into the web-based control panel. If disaster does strike, there is no need to panic. You can easily retrieve all of your files in just a few clicks by using the Restore feature on your desktop application. So sign up to My PC Backup today and see how reassuring it is to have all of your files automatically backed up, simply, safely, and securely.
At Groupon, we believe the best things in life come to those who search. To the everyday explorers, to those who leave no stone unturned, we believe in discoveries, both big and small. Your new favorite sushi bar, your morning yoga class, the flight lesson you never thought you'd take, the local business you might never have found. And that's why Groupon makes it easy to find and save on the things you do every day. With a new way to search and thousands of the best deals to search for. When you want to do or buy just about anything, anywhere, anytime, don't sit back and wait for it. Check Groupon first.
Tom O'Halloran.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. All brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Of my red, white, and blue.
And we're back. This is the Tuesday morning edition of the Patriot Radio Show, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Playing co-host for today. My host is Daisy Donovan. Daisy, are you there, dear?
I am. I'm here.
All right.
Still.
So go ahead and pick up right where you were, dear.
Can you hear me okay, Tom?
Yep. Yes, I hear you fine, Daisy. Daisy? Hello?
Are you there, Tom?
Yes, we're all here, Daisy.
Okay. I didn't know if you could hear me or not.
Oh, no, we all hear you fine, dear. Go ahead.
Perfect. Well, we were talking about the illustrious Sheriff Lupe Valdez out of Dallas County. And she is wanting to turn her jurisdiction into a sanctuary, saying that the federal issues are not her issues. Federal issues are all of our issues. And I used to work for the sheriff's department. I was not an officer. I was a dispatcher. But you learn a lot behind the scenes. And one thing I learned is that it trickles down. The federal law is also, it trickles down to the state and local jurisdictions. The federal law is hers to abide by and her issues to deal with. You know, the liberal side is saying that they're bringing cost into this and saying that it's just too expensive to fight this. It's too expensive to round up all of these illegal immigrants that are committing crimes. You know, it's going to burn up money keeping them in their jails and prison and deporting them and the cost of getting ICE officials to go and pick them up. If we're going to be blowing money, Tom, what better things to blow our money on than our safety, our public safety? I don't think Kate Steinley's dad would mind one little bit for his tax dollars to be going to this cause. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I mean, it is, you nailed it. I mean, it's about public safety. Never mind the fact that they're immigrants. Never mind the fact that they're here illegally. They are criminals. We're a law of nations, or are we not? Has that changed? I mean, a law of rules, a nation of laws. That's the word I was looking for. We're a nation of laws, and we either have them and everybody is held accountable, or we don't.
Well, exactly, and I think that the sad and scary truth is that we are straying further and further away from that, from being a nation of law. The New York Times, they wrote a snazzy little column called "The Great Sanctuary City Slander," and how these horrible Republicans are taking away from the good that these sanctuary cities offer, and that we're creating an atmosphere of animosity and causing even more safety issues by wanting to take the sanctuary away. They even supported this particular illegal who shot Kate Steinley. They said he was homeless, and he had drug convictions, but no record of violent crimes yet, and that his bullet was that it ricocheted off the pier, and that's the only reason it hit her. That basically, if she hadn't been there, it's her own fault. If she hadn't been there, she wouldn't have been shot.
Right. What was she doing going out in public when there were illegals walking around with guns? Shame on her.
Precisely.
Do we have any crime stats on crime in sanctuary cities versus crime in similar-sized non-sanctuary cities?
We can probably come up with some pretty darn quick.
That'd be interesting to see. I know that if you take a look at crime stats in Democrat-run cities, such as Detroit, Baltimore, such and such and such, that you'll see a great deal of crime. But I wonder if stacking those same Democrat cities up against already high crime cities, up against the sanctuary cities, I wonder where that would put the crime stats. Be an interesting thing to look up on for kind of a follow-up to this show.
Right. I believe so. I'd be interested to see the results from that. I can speculate, but I'm not going to say anything because I want to see the numbers.
That would make you a Democrat.
I was just thinking the same thing. That might be a little bit too liberal.
Obama, I don't have all the facts, but they acted stupidly. Yeah.
You know, and something else that I think, you talk about us being a nation of laws. And what these sanctuary cities are doing are saying, you can do whatever you want, but I'm the boss. Like the sheriff, for instance. So my thought was, boy, she must have an inside line to the president because she's just as narcissistic as he is.
Right.
Saying the federal issues, the federal policies, those aren't my problem. I don't know why you think that I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to turn these criminals loose on my people.
Right. Never mind the fact
whenever and however I feel fit.
Yeah. Never mind the fact that you're hired to serve and protect the citizens, the ones that voted you into office.
Well, and that's just it. I'm wondering how many of her actual citizens are sitting there cheering her on or saying, "Oh no, what have we done?" And this is an election year for her.
Yeah. Well, they elected her. They probably thought she was going to do the job. But a lot of these people on the left, these liberals, they're okay with the illegals committing crimes as long as it's not their family members getting raped and killed.
Exactly. And I wonder how many more it's going to take. How many more murders? How many more rapes? How many more, of our kids getting hooked on drugs is it going to take before we realize that, this isn't such a great idea. We need to get them out and keep them out.
Yeah.
And passing a law that hands down a mandatory sentence, and I think 5 years is a drop in the bucket. But handing down a mandatory sentence on these illegal immigrants who have been deported before and come back is a good start. And why we can't see the good in that?
Well, because we have a Congress that is more interested in reducing the sentences for these criminals. We did a show last week on, or it was earlier this week, I think it was the Tuesday show, the sentencing restructuring bill that's going through the House right now, or Senate, I think it's starting in the Senate. They're looking at releasing 45,000 criminals. Many of them are illegals. And they're reducing their sentences for serious drug crimes from 25 years to 15 years. And as long as we're taking away the deterrent to committing crimes, they're going to continue committing them.
There's already so many loopholes. Excuse me, Tom. There's already so many loopholes in our laws that are getting people off of their prison sentences anyway. This is just what we need is more. We need to just turn them loose. Turn them loose on our country, on our families, on our kids, and see what happens. That's exactly what we need. Sure.
Well, it's like the lunatics are running the asylum.
Right.
We have a crime problem. Well, what do? We release criminals from prison. There's a huge upswing in crime, so let's release criminals from the prison system. That should help things.
Yes. Won't it now?
It's like, some days I look at the stuff that's happening, and am I the only one that can see this? This is like a bad dream where things are happening and everybody's walking around like it's perfectly normal. Yeah, that makes sense to me. You release the criminals from prison, you shorten their sentences, murder instead of being life. Well, let's give them 6 months in prison. That should stop the crime.
And then, our public safety aside, what's going to happen next is all of those who have been released won't have a job to go to. They're going to hang around in our country. They're not going to leave our country. They're going to start getting welfare benefits.
Why would you leave? If you went home, you'd go to prison for a long time for committing crimes. This is the land of the free, no matter what you do.
Yes. And and like I said, it rolls downhill. They're gonna be getting benefits because they can't get jobs, because they're criminals, because they're felons, because they're illegal. So they're going to start getting benefits that we pay for. They're going to start going to school, that is already paid for.
Exactly. Daisy, can I get you to hold for a second, dear?
You betcha.
Some more bills to pay, folks. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Girls, I know the one place where you are guaranteed to find a great guy. You know, the kind of guy that carries you off on horseback and flies you to Paris and likes to talk about his feelings. He's at the movies. Well, in the movies. Where else will you find a funny architect with airbrushed abs? Girls are lining up for guys like this, but not you, because you bought your tickets ahead on Fandango. So adios, long lines, and hello, handsome astronaut, brain surgeon, spy.
Make a date with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Family night at the movies is a tradition. It really bonds us together. I love you guys so much. Especially this one. I mean, of course, there's all the, his popcorn's bigger than mine, and she's hitting me. Fandango makes it all so easy with tickets in advance. Honey, you enjoy the chick flick? Kids, you enjoy the animated movie? Daddy's gonna go watch things go boom. That's how we do family movie night.
Bring your family closer together with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Girls, I know the one place where you are guaranteed to find a great guy. You know, the kind of guy that carries you off on horseback and flies you to Paris and likes to talk about his feelings. He's at the movies. Well, in the movies. Where else will you find a funny architect with airbrushed abs? Girls are lining up for guys like this, but not you, because you bought your tickets ahead on Fandango. So adios, long lines, and hello, handsome astronaut, brain surgeon, spy.
Make a date with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Family night at the movies is a tradition. It really bonds us together. I love you guys so much. Especially this one. I mean, of course, there's all the, his popcorn's bigger than mine, and she's hitting me. Fandango makes it all so easy with tickets in advance. Honey, you enjoy the chick flick? Kids, you enjoy the animated movie? Daddy's gonna go watch things go boom. That's how we do family movie night.
Bring your family closer together with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Boost Mobile believes you deserve more choice. You can pick your phone, pick your plan, and you can even pick a new spokesperson and sell that phone.
The Samsung Galaxy S5 will rock your face off!
Give it to me through Tears. Get unlimited talk, text, and data. Starting at $40 a month. Wow.
Pick your phone.
Pick your plan.
And pick your next spokesperson at boostmobile.com.
Visit Boost Mobile through the RER Marketplace.
Patriots, have you ever wondered why Google, Yahoo, AT&T, Comcast, and so many others offer free email? Who offers free stuff these days? They do it so that millions will sign up with them. Then as these people send what they think are private emails, the emails get scanned and tagged according to the content of the emails. These companies then sell your email addresses to companies that are selling things that you may be interested in based upon the content of your emails. If you're a veteran or if you have a vet in your family, go to usvetmail.net. Get an email address, your name at usvetmail.net. It's not only private, but it shows pride in your veteran or your pride of service. We never scan our clients' mail, and we never, ever sell or share your information with anyone. Thank you.
I reckon the storms are brewing. Reckon so.
Reckon you got a hotel?
Reckon no. Money's tight.
Reckon Priceline Express deals can get you a great deal. Wherever you mosey.
You reckon? We reckon. I reckon our work here is done. Vamonos!
Express deals. Priceline savings without the bidding.
Think he's happy?
Oh, I reckon.
Tom O'Halloran, holding the line against tyranny from Washington, D.C.
And we are back. This is the Thursday morning edition of the Patriot Radio Show. I am your co-host, Tom O'Halloran. On the phone with me right now is our host of the day, Daisy Donovan. Daisy, are you still there, dear?
I am, Tom.
All right.
Still here.
Good show.
Well, good. I'm glad. Where were we, Tom? I was trying to look up some stats, and I swear my computer is a Democrat some days. So.
We're talking about exactly that, about the high crime rates in sanctuary cities, and got something out of the chat room during the break, or just as we're getting ready to go into break. Ken said that we're not going to be able to find any comparisons because cities like Chicago, Detroit, Miami, they're all sanctuary cities, and there aren't really any cities that populous to compare it to. But I'm sure we could still downsize in cities and still get the per capita type crime rate, because California has dozens of sanctuary cities themselves.
They do, and to look at the map, I found a map somewhere in my notes that pinpointed sanctuary cities, and they were just lined up and down the California coast. Pretty sad.
Yep.
Pretty sad. And another thought I had was, being that Harry Reid, he's a senator from Nevada, he stood up on Tuesday and said that, local law enforcement are much better judges at how to keep their communities safe. And he even made the comment that, the locals being better judges than people like Trump and Bill O'Reilly. They trying to be funny. And, local officials are best. They know their communities best. They know how to protect them best. If they're not being stupid. I mean, let's get real.
Well, the insanity, the insanity that drives me nuts is the fact that all of these public officials, they've got more on their hands than just the sanctuary thing. But the other big problems for them are trying to take care of all of the things that it costs to run a city. You've got your infrastructure. You've got streets. You've got housing. You've got just all these other things, and they're working with a finite amount of money. You would think they would want fewer problems in their city.
Well, and not to mention, if I was the sheriff of my county, this is also where I live. This is where my family lives.
Right.
I want to make it safer. I don't want to take in more criminals and let them run around in the streets where my daughters are walking or living. My daughters don't live in the streets.
Well, we're hoping.
Not quite.
And that was my point a minute ago. I mean, these people have families in their cities.
Right.
If for nothing other than selfish reasons, you'd think they would want to make the cities as safe as possible. Now they have to hire more police because there's more crime. They have less money. The hard-working people and the businesses are moving out of these cities because they don't want the crime. So your tax base is leaving. More crime is moving in. It's a... remember the drawing of the snake eating its tail?
Mm-hmm.
It's a circular thing. You have problems. The snake starts biting its tail, and the snake starts trying to leave. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Everything they do, instead of making anything better, it's designed to make things worse. And then
That's exactly it.
And then you get to the point where Detroit is.
Oh my goodness, right? Yes. Yes. Well, and my thought is at what point have we come to, Tom, where we can't see that these politicians, well, our law enforcement have evolved into politicians, and that they are putting us at risk, our families at risk. And you know that I take being a mom pretty seriously, and I'm awfully protective of my girls. And something like that, if I lived in Dallas County and my sheriff was saying, you know what, I'll make the decisions, and I don't think that these illegal criminals running around is a problem, she would get a no on my vote. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it has to be so complicated. They're putting us at risk. Not just our livelihood, our lives are at risk.
And I can kind of see the politicians doing it because they want the Hispanic vote, so they think this is going to help them. But what I don't get are why the sheriffs are going along with this. They're elected by the people. You think that and they're the highest law enforcement authority in a county, you would think that the sheriffs would stand up and do the right thing.
You would think.
Because they can't be fired by the county commissioners in most cases, I don't believe. They're elected officials.
They can be, but it's a big process. I mean, it's a very big and involved process. But for all intents and purposes, no, they can't be. They can't just be fired. But then we kind of have to look at the locality too. Texas has one of the biggest fights on their hands.
Yeah.
And so this sheriff running for re-election, that's probably what she's aiming for, is the Hispanic vote.
Well,
is what?
Yeah. It goes back to the same thing. The sheriff is elected, so.
Exactly.
But you're elected to uphold the Constitution, and the Constitution says the criminals have to be held accountable.
Well, Tom, that's a class that all elected officials should retake, because we're just not doing a very good job there.
Yeah,
our Constitution is not being upheld in very many areas at all, and that's just the sad truth. And it starts at the very top of the pyramid.
Yeah, it does. And in any organization, if they have a disregard for the rules at the top of IBM, then you can't expect the employees of IBM to be very fearful of repercussions to their wrongdoings.
Precisely. That's exactly right.
And it isn't all Obama either. This has been going on on both parties for decades.
It has. It really has. And, going back to somebody mentioning that this isn't going to change without a new president, how do you feel about that? Because I strongly disagree.
Well, no, I don't. I agree, because here's what happens. If we were to go and we were going to hold a protest in San Francisco and force them to change the law and stop it from being a sanctuary city, Obama would cut off funding for senior health. As long as you have a vindictive president, and he's done this to cities that have said we're no longer going to allow illegals to run rampant. Obama cuts off funding for different programs that the city needs. Then they have to take the money that they have and cover the cost of what the federal government was subsidizing. So it's not going to be easy. It could be done on a small scale before we change the president out, but given that we're looking at 15 months, probably not.
And I do. I see your point. I stand corrected. However, I guess my thought was, you know what? Donald Trump can't just think that he can go in and say and snap his fingers and say, you know what? This is going to change. It's going to change right now. That can't happen. And he is, I'm a Trump supporter.
Yep.
But there are a lot of things that he's saying, yep, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. That's as narcissistic as Obama is.
No.
No.
And here's why. And here's why. All Trump has to do is say sanctuary cities will come to an end as soon as I'm elected. This will come to an end. This will come to an end. All he has to do is rescind all of Obama's illegal executive orders. And I want to talk about executive orders in just a minute, too, because they're very misunderstood. And then when he gets into office, put out an edict, an executive order, if you will, of his own, that says we will uphold the constitutionally enacted laws that say cities will report illegals to the federal government, and the federal government will deport. That's all he has to do. The laws are already on the books. Obama is using his narcissism to say the laws don't matter. We can do this and ignore the law. The laws are on the books. The Congress and the Senate passed bills. The presidents have signed bills over the years. This is the way it's supposed to be done, to protect the American citizens. He's not going to be passing laws to do this. All Trump has to do is cancel the executive order and issue one of his own that the Constitution does matter, and we will follow the laws that have been passed by Congress. That's all Trump has to do. Right?
Amen, sir.
Okay, and that's not narcissism. That's just saying, hey, there is a new sheriff in town, and it's President Trump, and the Constitution does matter. And cities that don't obey the federal laws, they will lose their money. They will be fined. And more severely for breaking the law than Obama was doing for breaking his little executive orders. And by the way, executive orders, as a side note, most of Obama's executive orders are illegal because he is writing executive orders that say what we, the people, will have to do, what we must do. Executive orders have no authority over me. They have no authority over you. His executive orders are to his administration. And that is all that an executive order has authority over. The president has no authority over me. None. The president cannot write laws, and he cannot write rules for the citizens of the United States of America. Daisy, we're coming to the top of the hour, dear. Any final thoughts on our sanctuary city situation?
I think I lost you there for a second, Tom.
Oh, okay. I
Are you
said,
still there?
yep, we're coming to the top of the hour. Do you have any final thoughts on the sanctuary cities situation that you've presented today?
You know, Tom, I think the key to this is the same as any other issue out there. We just need to stay informed and keep our heads level and, you know, pray for a better outcome in this next election, because that's the only thing that's gonna keep us safe. Because we're not safe now. We're not at all. But thanks for having me, and I will be back again next week if you'll have me.
Not only going to have you, you'll be doing the show because I will be out next week. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in for the premiere of the Daisy Donovan Show. Next Thursday, it will be Daisy, and Daisy by herself. Daisy, I appreciate you bringing this show for us today. I truly, truly do.
Thank you so much. I look forward to next week.
All right, dear. We'll talk to you then.
Okay.
Folks, this has been the Thursday edition of the Patriot Radio Show with my special host, Daisy Donovan. Please tune in tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Texas time, for Jihad on America. Until then, God bless you and yours, America. This is Tom O'Halloran. I'm out.